Hi guys, it's me Ty here, and today I'm going to talk about how big of a lowboy should you end up buying. And um, Back in like 2011, a lot of my buddies were getting big into the lowboys for hauling their dozers and their excavators. And so at that time, they were going for about $7,000. I'm sure they're a lot more than that now, but these are older ones they bought. And what happened is two of my buddies, they ended up buying a triple axle lowboys with the rear loading ramps that you could just flip up on the back. And they both bought them from road construction places, that pave the interstates and all that. And that was $7,000 they paid for those. And I believe those were like 35-ton lowboys. And I think that's usually what most of those are. And then they also have the 50-ton low boys out there. And I'm not sure, but those might be the quad axle ones. So at about that time, one of my other buddies, he ended up buying a quad axle low boy that was rear load. He didn't have the ramps in the back, just a dovetail, so he would just back up to the ditches. And he's not even sure how many ton that one holds. He just hauls smaller loads, you know. Um, but now we're moving a lot more equipment nowadays. And My boss, he just bought a triple axle rear load lowboy, and the ramps they flip up in the back so nicely and everything. It's deck over, and he can haul a 966 cat loader on it, and about half the tire is on the deck on each side, and then half of each tire is hanging over on the outside. So it's an oversized load, but I think that the 966s maybe they weigh in around 50,000 pounds or so. Um, and then Just today we actually hauled their 960 or their D Cat D6 dozer with a ripper on the back and a big semi U tall semi U blade on the front of it. And that weighs in at 45,000 pounds. And what was so nice about hauling that is that the outside of your grousers on your dozer are actually narrower than the deck, so it's easy to load it yourself and back off. You'd have to be a real something else to screw that up if you can't back off of a low boy that when your implement or when your piece of equipment is narrower um, than the trailer there. And then I was talking to our heavy hauler today. We hire him to do a lot of loads. We've always hired him to do the Cat 980s loaders, like the G's, the K's, the M's, and I'm guessing they weigh in at about 78,000 pounds. And Today he showed up, and he was actually able to haul that with just a triple axle. He didn't need a single axle Jeep on the back. Um, and I asked my boss, I was like, why can't we just haul it ourselves? And he's like, because my low boy uh, isn't rated for that much weight. So how it is this one that came to pick up ours that our D8s and like our 980 loaders, um, that is a front load one where the semi tractor detaches and you just back the equipment on. And with those, you're able to have bigger tires in the back, so you can handle more weight. Whereas all these deck over ones, the rear loading low boys, you have the low profile tires, so you can't hold as much air in them in those tires. So therefore, you cannot haul as much weight on them. And but Like the guy that we hire whenever he hauls our D8 dozers with twin shank rippers, then he has to come with a different trailer. He has to come with a triple axle lowboy with a single axle Jeep in the back. And a Jeep is all it is a dolly that gets hooked behind and helps to carry some of the weight there. Um, and I asked him, I was like, with a lot of um, you know, gravel mines and just any type of mine, if you're down south, the lithium mines, all that, what about the D9 dozers? And because I'd always heard that with the D9s, they're too heavy. You have to remove the blade off of them. And He said, nope. He's like, with my low boy, he's like, I don't need to remove the blade off it because it's not over 16 feet wide. Um, so he can haul it with the rippers there too. And But he does have to remove some of the ROPS on the top above the cab because it's just too high. Because the D9 dozers are very tall dozers. And with that, he uses a 60-ton lowboy for hauling the D9s. And then he said that he's hauled a D10 before, because one of my friends has a D10, and with his construction company, and they are a pain in the butt to move because our trucker told us that the D10s, you have to remove the blade and the draft arms in the front, and then you also have to remove the ripper, and I'm sure the ROPS, just because that machine is so heavy. You really shouldn't. A D8 is probably about the biggest that you want to go, but our D8T, that one we do have to use a triple axle with the breakaway gooseneck where you're back on, and then we also need um, that Jeep in the back. So technically, we have 4 axles under us. So, for the vast majority of you guys, I would say those the triple axles, especially if you could pick them up for $7,000. I don't know what the market is now, but like I said, back in 2011, that was the going rate for a 35-ton lowboy with a triple axle or 50-ton in that range. So, all right, if you guys like this content, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll just keep kicking out these videos for you guys about saving you guys money, about the construction industry, um, and about my travels throughout Asia. All right, take care.